Yeah, I just wanted to make a video on solo travel. So I feel like I get asked about solo travel a lot, mainly as concern to safety.
Most of the advice you read online is accurate. Just about the same things you wouldn't do alone walking in your own city. Take the same precautions when you're elsewhere alone. Research the place from the lens of who you are. I always research a place first and foremost from the lens of a black woman because, hey, black woman, and then women in general as well.
And how black women have been treated. I love when I find blogs from other black women, so thank you, and women in general as well. I look at both how women are treated and then how specifically black women are treated, because there can be disparity there. And I look up the hotels. I also go down to the reviews and separate the reviews by solo travelers, and if there's no solo travelers, because sometimes there isn't under the reviews, I make sure to look up families with small children to see what they thought about the hotels. Staying at the South Gap Hotel in Barbados, and so far so good. They've been very accommodating.
I'm taking hotels over Airbnb or hostels when I'm solo as well. Tell people where you are and make sure you check in, sharing your location, the hotel you're staying at, and flight itinerary and everything. And speaking of that, make sure you have your hotel and flight itinerary information in any maps or things either printed or downloaded onto your phone. Take a screenshot of it just in case the Wi-Fi and the cell service is janky out there, wherever you're going. To download offline maps in Google Maps, you open the app, you tap your profile picture, you select offline maps, tap select your own map, adjust the area of the map, and then tap download. Also, know your options and what you like. I love a pool and to be close to a beach and or ocean view, especially when I'm solo. If I can just leave the hotel and right downstairs is the beach, that's ideal for me. And then you have options. So all inclusive, where you don't even have to necessarily leave the resort, might be good for a first solo international trip. Have a universal adapter for charging, a portable charger, definitely keep that charged up. And if you could leave your laptop at home, do that. I never travel with extra jewelry besides my earrings.
I will say the more I travel alone, the more comfortable I am. So my first solo trip was a test for myself at 30. I did St. Maarten alone. What I'll say about St. Maarten was it was cool because I set up a ride from the airport to the hotel, and the taxi service sent me a female driver both ways, so that was really cool. If you guys want like where I stayed in St. Maarten, that was in 2023 though, but if you want where I stayed in St. Maarten, that was a nice hotel. I can find the name of that and put that in the description of this video, so just let me know if you want that. But also St. Maarten, I didn't really do much. I stayed on the strip of the hotels, or where the hotel was, which was cool. Hotel gave me free breakfast. The strip had bars and other hotels or restaurants on it, and it was right on the beach, so I was able to go from sitting by the bar to right down by the beach, so that was cool. I didn't venture out at all. Like, I didn't know. I took the taxi to the hotel and I stayed around that area until it was time for me to leave, and I was taking the taxi back to the airport to go home. But that was my test. I was comfortable being there alone. I bought this thing and I have it with me now to like go under the door. It's supposed to be for added protection, so that if somebody tries to open the door, it slides under and there's like an alarm that goes off. I didn't even use it because I didn't want to be fumbling with it. So in St. Maarten, I actually put a chair by the door.
So this is the thing I was talking about that goes in the door. This goes at the top part where the piece connects into the door, and then this goes under the door and the alarm triggers. It came in this nice little like privacy box. Your present, thank you. Like, when it came, I'm like, what is this? Got it from Amazon. I still take it with me when I travel solo, but haven't used it.
And I'm looking at the door now. I don't know why. But in St. Maarten, I put a chair that they had in the room by the door, so if, God forbid, somebody tried to open the door, they would run into the chair and it would wake me up.
So I saw this video where the girl put the ironing board at the door instead of a chair, so she set it up where the ironing board was under the door handle. She also covered the peephole with tissue, and she installed a hidden camera in the room. Hidden camera, because it was kind of obvious. But yeah, she installed that in the room. It was like a magnetic camera that she just stuck to where like the TV is. And she also traveled with man's shoes and put them outside the hotel door. When I first traveled solo, I was so nervous to go to St. Martin. Like, I was so nervous I couldn't sleep the night before. Like, I got no sleep. And I know it wasn't like being on planes alone because I've done that before. But actually going alone, not meeting anybody, that it gave me nerves. It had my nerves like, oh shit, what if? But I went and everything was fine.
And then for 31, I went to Puerto Rico alone. And Puerto Rico, I ventured out. Like, I planned that trip more. So I knew I wanted to go to a local spot on the day of my birthday to get some good food because the mom and pop shops, they do it, baby. So I went to Old San Juan. I took an Uber from the hotel, went to Old San Juan, and just like explored the city. I ate breakfast and then walked around, got some souvenirs, went into like an art shop or whatever, bought some art. That was dope. But yeah, Puerto Rico, I felt a little more comfortable venturing out. And Puerto Rico actually reminded me a lot of like a city in Florida. Like once you get to the strip, you're on the strip and you're among the people. And it was very impersonal. Nobody was really in your business. People are walking, you're walking. And, you know, everybody's doing their own thing. So that was cool. The food was A1.
So research. Do they readily accept USD, Visa, MasterCard, Amex? Would it be easier to just take your card? Personally, I like to have some cash so that I could tip and buy my souvenirs. Like sometimes local artists and stuff, all they take is cash. I like to get cash in the country's currency, and I do make sure I ask the bank for small bills.
And here, so now in Barbados, this is the most I've ventured out. I've only been here, this is my first night here, and I went out. I took their public transportation, so they have these like little dollar vans. They're not $1 though, like they price you based on destination. So I went down to the lobby of the hotel and I was able to exchange my USD for Barbadian money, or should I say Bajan money, because the small vans only take Bajan money. But when I came from the airport, that taxi, they took USD. And Bajan money is 2 to 1 here, so $1 USD is 2 of their dollars, which is really cool. I like that. It was the same way in Belize. First time I'm doing public transportation someplace, and I felt totally safe and comfortable. So the lady gave me directions from the hotel. She exchanged my money for me and then gave me directions, told me how much it would cost. So I followed her directions until I didn't really know where to go. Then I asked somebody. It was like people on the side of the street selling like snacks and stuff. I guess for like kids coming out of school and everything. And also this is like a popular walking strip once you come out of the hotel, like little area. So I asked somebody and they kindly told me, you know, you need to be on that side of the street. And I had to run to the van and yeah, it was a vibe though. So yeah, I felt totally comfortable. And then coming back, like the only thing I will say is you have to pay attention and ask the person by the door if, you know, this is your stop, just to keep you in the forefront of their mind, because they are, I guess, used to it being the locals in the van, and the locals know where they're going and when they're getting off. So I kind of remembered what was in the area when I got on the van to know like, oh, this is where I'm supposed to get off, right? And then the guy was kind of confused. He was like, huh? Like when I got on, I told him where I needed to go. And then when I asked him, was it time for me to get off? He was kind of confused. But one of the ladies that was getting on the van, she was like, yeah, you need to go that way. I'm like, okay, thank you for the confirmation. So yeah, people are really nice out here. Oh, what warmed my heart earlier. So the cab driver, this is the first time I didn't set up a taxi service to like come get me. Reached out to the hotel before it was time for me to come, and I'm like, can I set up the cab service to come get me? And they're like, yes, you can do that, but it'll be $50 versus if you just come out of the airport and take a taxi, it'll be $27. I'm like, oh, you know what, I will just try my hand at a taxi when I get out here. So I did, and it was totally seamless. As soon as you come out of the airport, it's a taxi stand, and yeah, it was the price that they told me it was. Paid the man $30, like just keep the change as a tip. But he welcomed me home, And the only other place I've been welcomed home is Africa. So that was heartwarming. I'm like, oh, okay, so this is how the people are gonna be here. Like, everybody's gonna be like an aunt, an uncle type. And that's the vibe I've been getting so far.
Shout out to my cab driver, Ron, in Barbados. He was mad nice, gave me his contact info, and actually drove me to the airport when I was leaving. So that was dope. Trust your gut and have a plan. For instance, in Barbados, that was the first time me traveling somewhere. I wasn't going to be able to use Uber, and I also didn't set up a taxi service to come get me. So I had it in my head already that if cab driver's acting crazy, I'm going to have to jump out the cab. Like, it's just what's going to have to happen. I always keep my personal bag in the seat with me. Like, the luggage, that's cool. They keep that in the trunk. But my personal bag with my money, my passport, ID, things like that, I have that with me in the back seat of the car. A bag. So fanny packs are easy and good because it's always in front of you. But personally, I like a small backpack with lots of pockets and at least 2 types of closures. Always be aware of your surroundings. Don't be out at night somewhere else and have headphones in your head in your ears. No. You need to be alert. Don't even do that in the daytime, for real. Be alert. You want to always be aware of your surroundings, what's happening to the sides of you, what's happening behind you, what's happening in front of you. If you want to travel solo, I would say start small. Take yourself on solo dates in your own city. Then move to a nearby city or a neighborhood you haven't been in. Then do an overnight stay at a nearby city or state. Then do international. Like, work your way up to it. Talking to strangers is cool, just don't give them too many details. If people ask if you're alone, I wouldn't confirm that. Maybe hit them with my girl, my boy, my friends are coming in later, so they'll be here. Personally, when I go to places alone, I'm not out too late. But it also depends on what type of traveler you are. Reusable water bottles is a good idea, especially if it can keep your drinks hot or cold. So, me personally, I carry my passport with me at all times in my backpack when I move around a different country. But also, I would say have a picture of it in your phone. Utilize the hotel safe. Take more than one card with you. Carry one card and have some cash on you. But leave another card and the rest of your cash in the safe. Just in case, also have pics of the front and backs of your cards. Just in case. Pockets with zippers. So pants, jackets, whatever, zippers. Because I've seen a lot of pickpocket stories. For most of my solo trips, I've left the do not disturb sign on the door. So I wasn't getting any service. And I knew no one was in the room when I wasn't there. But if you want service, I would say close and lock your suitcase. And those were the things that came to mind that I wrote down to tell you guys as far as solo travel. And yeah, I think that wraps up this video. If you have any tips for solo travel, put them down in the comments. Let us know where you've been solo or where you think you could have went solo. Like, for instance, I think I could have went to Belize solo. I think I could have did Cartagena solo as well. Just based on like how the vibe felt when I got out there. Canada, I did Canada. I went to Montreal. That was a road trip. I could have did that alone. That was chill too. When I went to Tennessee, that was also a road trip. I did that alone. Parts of Africa I've been, I felt safe, but I like that those were group trips. So yeah, let us know any tip that you have for traveling solo, where you've been solo, where you're thinking about going solo. And let's start some dialogue in the comments. Peace.